Morning, everybody. I am live out here in Douglas County Courthouse, Lawrence. The KC Freedom Project protesting accountability, transparency for the DA, prosecutor. Set up my.
Where's Mr. Washington? Reggie Griffin, come here.
Squeeze my here.
Y'all forgive me. Because when I see this baby walk up here, it hurts my feelings. That they locked this baby up for 5 years. Playing games with this baby's life. When I think about what Reggie went through, Reggie is one of our speakers today. Reggie is a Missouri death row exoneree. Reggie did how many years? 31 years in prison. Got a death warrant issued for his death. And the Lord blessed this man and his conviction was overturned. And he went to prison for that and was in there for that because of an act of called prosecutorial misconduct. And he was not one of Amy McGowan's cases. But I can tell you that a prosecutor did that to him. Which, no telling what the prosecutors got planned for this baby. But we're not going to let it happen. We're going to walk behind this baby right here. Because when I see this baby, he's young enough to be one of my children. And it hurts me to know, baby, that you sit in jail all the time. That hurts me. And that's why we're here for him today. But I want to tell y'all, Amy McGowan, now I'm going to go into more detail that, but some of y'all don't know who Amy McGowan is. We look at these signs, we say, Douglas County, Kansas, we demand prosecutor accountability and transparency. We look at some of these signs, and it says Justice for Ontario's Washington. We look at some of these signs, and it says Douglas County needs a conviction review unit. And they do. And why do they need one? Because they know they had a problematic prosecutor in this office for years. She was problematic and corrupt when she was in Missouri, and she's problematic and corrupt when she was here. And wherever she at, in retirement, she's still problematic and corrupt. These people right here on this banner says Amy McGowan's victims. Byron Case, that's his mom right there in that green shirt, Evelyn Case. She's been fighting to get her baby out of prison. How many years? 18 years. This is Keith Carnes. Where's Miss Moffitt? Miss Moffitt, can you come up here, please?
Come on, Queen.
This is Keith Carnes' mother. Her son, you're fine right there, Miss Eve. You're fine. You're fine. Her son is Keith Carnes. She's been fighting to get her baby out of prison for 18 years. Behind Amy McGowan. This is Mr. Anderson down here in the corner. He's still locked up in a Kansas prison. Byron and Keith Carnes in Missouri. They're Missouri cases. These three at the bottom are Kansas cases. Prosecutor misconduct by Amy McGowan. Shauna Fonder, my Native American sister right here, in prison from Lawrence, wrongly convicted. Amy McGowan. And the sad thing is, in these three cases at the bottom, the Kansas Supreme Court wrote her up for acts of prosecutorial misconduct. And they mandated that Amy McGowan step down and not prosecute any major felony cases. But your lovely prosecutor, DA, Charles Parson, allowed her to get right back in there and start prosecuting cases. If he would have honored the mandate passed down by the Supreme Court, Albert Wilson wouldn't be probably convicted today. Albert Wilson, he's got some supporters here. Can you raise your hands? They brought a bus down from Wichita. That baby is in the Kansas prisons. And y'all don't even know. His mama couldn't see him. I don't even know if she's made it in to see him because she had a previous criminal history. And they blocked that woman from going in to see her son. They play these types of games. Keith Corn's brother is back there. Kevin, raise your hand. He hadn't seen his brother in 17 years because they wouldn't let him in because he had a criminal history. We had to fight to get him, and he saw his brother for the first time last year. I'm here to tell y'all, this woman is corrupt. Has anybody heard of Ricky Kidd? If you don't know about Ricky Kidd, who he is, raise your hand if you don't know who Ricky Kidd is. Ricky Kidd is an African-American male from Kansas City, Missouri. Served 23 years of his life in prison for 2 murders that man didn't commit. He got out 10 months ago. 10 months ago. You wanna know how he got out? His legal team with the Midwest Innocent Project found Amy McGowan's misconduct in his case. And the courts overturned it, and Ricky was set free 10 months ago. If y'all don't know who he is, follow him. His name is Ricky Kidd. He has I Am Resilience. That man is out putting his life back together after being gone 23 years. But God has restored him. He's getting ready to get married, got a baby on the way. He's doing his thing, and I'm happy for that brother. But for 23 years, that man was denied life. He was denied his family. He didn't get to see his children grow up outside of the penitentiary because of Amy McGowan. Now, you guys, when you have a corrupt prosecutor in office, it's bad. It not just doesn't lock up the innocent, but it can also set people free that may have committed the crime. But they beat their cases on technicalities, and I'm not doubting nobody out, but I got to keep it 100. So when you have a prosecutor in office who is not right. Now, Amy McGowan didn't prosecute this baby's case, but she sure trained a lot of prosecutors in this office. So did she train his prosecutor? Did she teach his prosecutor how to do dirty work? How to withhold exculpatory evidence? How to fudge your speedy trial, your timeline, and violate your speedy trial rights, but you don't know until you've been in prison 15 years and a prison lawyer figures it out, but you done done 15 years and your constitutional rights was violated. The reason why I know so much about Amy McGowan is because I've been investigating her for a little over 5 years. Okay? Little over 5 years. I'm a community activist, but I'm also a criminal defense private investigator, so I know a lot of their dirt. I know how they operate. I know how they move. I know how they get down. Amy McGowan. Everybody know who Amy McGowan is now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody got a good understanding of who Amy McGowan is now?
Yeah.
Now, what I want to bring to your attention next. Amy McGowan, when she was in Missouri, Amy McGowan prosecuted an attorney by the name of Richard Buckley. Mr. Buckley went to trial, was found guilty for killing his law partner. He goes to prison for 5 years. His case gets overturned. Can anybody tell me why? Amy McGowan committed acts of prosecutorial misconduct. And after serving 5 years in prison, after the man done lost his wife, lost his family, lost his law business, lost his law license, he gets out of prison, but he's got to rebuild. The man just got his license back in 2013. Amy McGowan.
Yeah.
And what happened with Miss McGowan, when she got caught up in that case, Jackson County shoot her out of there. And y'all's good old DA over here hired her. Brought her over here. Knew she was problematic.
Yeah.
And she picked up right where she left off. in Kansas City, Missouri, in Jackson County. That's who Amy McGowan is. That should tell you who your local district attorney is. Now I want to say this. When Amy McGowan was found by the Supreme Court, 2 of her Kansas cases have been overturned. She's now being investigated because we went after her license. She's now under investigation, not just in Kansas, but also in Missouri. Because we went after her license. And for those of you who are getting on the bus heading back, you will have some complaint forms on your bus. And I need y'all to read those complaint forms and sign them and give them back to your organizer, and I will get them from your organizer. But it is very important that we submit these complaints against her license. Because if we don't, she'll continue to have a license. Running her into retirement wasn't enough for me. We got to get her license. Because she'll skip right to it. She might be working somewhere right now. We just ain't figured out her game yet. But we got to get her license. And the sad thing is, and I'm going to turn it over to the speakers, because I get to talking about Amy, I talk all day. But let me tell y'all this. This is the sad thing. When her cases were overturned by the Kansas Supreme Court, or even in Missouri when Richard Buckley's case was overturned due to her acts of prosecutorial misconduct, every judge, every attorney had a duty to report her license. And none of them did it. She's never had a complaint until we went after her license. And I can tell you in the name of Jesus, we're going to get that license. Yeah. So the complaint that you have on the bus today is about a Danny Queen case. He just got overturned here a couple of weeks ago, a week ago or something. So those complaint forms are pre-filled out about information that she did in his case. All you got to do is fill in your personal information, sign it, get it back to your organizer, and I will be making sure myself that it gets turned in to the proper disciplinary administrative office in Kansas. I'm getting ready to turn this over to the speakers. I just kind of introduced Reggie Griffin. You know, some of our demands that we're here for today. Oh, wait a minute. Mr. Smith's family, come on up here. I want y'all right here. Because their loved one's family, you stay right there, that's fine. Their loved one is not on this picture, but our brother, this baby's daddy, I know who you are. This baby's daddy is in prison because of Amy McGowan. We need a conviction review unit here in Douglas County. And why do we need it? Because we know that there was a problematic prosecutor in this office. So our list of demands is that we want a conviction review unit implemented here in this county. And we want every case that Amy McGowan touched, handled, looked at. I don't care if she peeked at it with one eye. We want it reviewed. Because no telling what she did. It's many Allendale, Smith, Keith, Carr, Shannon, Friday, Byron cases in jail that we ain't even figured out yet. But you can best believe they're there. And a conviction integrity unit is so important. And that's why I want to say this before Reggie takes his mic. Because when you are in prison, you've been found guilty. You have to go through a process called post-conviction relief. It's very expensive. If your family don't have that kind of money, you will sit there. Y'all, that's why I became a private investigator, because so many people said, Latahra, I'm innocent. And I knew they would never get their day in court if they didn't have an investigator to dig it right. And they couldn't afford them. So we take so many pro bono cases a year. But if we had a conviction review unit and somebody had new evidence, then they could bring it to this unit and they could review it. The first unit of a such was established in Dallas, Texas, under the direction of Craig Watkins. He was a DA there. He had the first conviction and review unit in the United States. I lived in Texas, and we advocated and we pushed for that. When I came to Kansas City, nobody even knew what it was until I got there. But I can tell you, we need one. Because you can get the evidence, but if you can't pay that attorney, you go sit in there. So we need a unit to review these type of cases, or they will sit there. So I'm gonna turn it over to Reggie. Everybody, let's get a round of applause for Reggie Griffin.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm gonna try to do this in a quick fashion, okay? Because I know we only have a certain amount of time. But anyway, as Ms. Smith told y'all, I was wrongly convicted in 1988. The case happened in 1983, and I did not go to court for 5 years, okay? Yeah, and so I was in prison, and I was summoned one morning to report to the control center, and at which time I was met by two guards who shackled me up and chained me up and put me in a car and took me out to the Randolph County Courthouse. Upon us getting there, we go in, and that is when a complaint was filed against me saying I was charged with capital murder. When I returned to the prison, I called my family and told them, I said, hey, I think I'm gonna need a lawyer. And so my parents, they got together and got me a lawyer. After the arraignment, or whatever you wanna call it, that's when I was told that the state would be seeking the death penalty. Yeah, and so I'm gonna say within 5 months, I was going to trial. Yeah. And the judge was a no-nonsense judge. Everything that the prosecutor asked for, they got. Everything we asked for was denied. And so right before trial, they put what is on the table as aggravating circumstances. Based upon the conviction, this is what they would use. When this paper was passed around to me, I informed my lawyer. I said, well, this is my name, but this is not my birthday, nor my social security number. She asked the judge, can she approach the bench? She said, I just consulted with my client, and he said that this is not his birthday or social security number. He said, straightening out on appeal, it's already been admitted. This is the paper that they use to get the death sentence upon conviction, okay? I started trial on a Monday. That Tuesday evening, I was convicted, okay? It took them 1 day to convict me, and normally a capital murder trial lasts 3 weeks, okay? This trial was over in 1 day, okay? And they took all of 45 minutes to reach a verdict, okay? After the verdict was read, they go down for what is called the penalty phase, okay? The judge told them that if y'all don't take longer to reach the decision on life or death, he would not accept it. Well, it took 1 hour, okay? You cannot read the forms in 1 hour, okay? So I'm gonna assume that they went down to the deliberation room and they went through the files, found the one that said guilty and the death penalty, and they signed it, okay? I'm here to tell y'all that people don't believe that these type of things go on until they hit close to home. Well, I'm here to tell y'all that they do happen, and it happened to me, okay? Well, in my fight, my mother was my #1 supporter, okay? And I'm telling y'all that dealing with this type of cases, it's not easy, okay? People don't know that it takes money. My mother went to talk to a lawyer about my case, and the man said, I want $70,000, I want 50 before any proceedings. Well, I was going to court the next week. And so, all I can say is that I'm here to let y'all know that, hey, it didn't just happen to me. There are a lot of brothers and sisters in my same position that did not have the help that I had, okay? I was blessed by God, okay? None other. I would not be standing here if it was not for the grace of God, okay? He has a purpose for me in life, and I am the voice for the voiceless. I am the face for the faceless, okay? And there are too many people in positions that can help people, but they will not. Their cries are falling on deaf ears, okay? And it's sad, but it's reality. And I just want to say that, hey man, anything that I can do to help, I'm willing to help, but I'm only one person, okay? And you know, I'm out here, I'm back out here, and I'm still picking up the pieces. I've been home for 8 years, okay? And I'm gonna tell y'all that, no, I have not figured it out, okay? Finding a job was a challenge for me, okay? I would go to places and they would have big bold signs saying help wanted. And when I would go in there and apply, they would let me fill out the application. And then I come back and they say, well, we have you on file. Well, I'm not applying to be an engineer, I'm applying to be a dishwasher. And I could not get a job, okay? And so my wife right there, she would tell me, do not get discouraged. We will make it, okay? But I'm just telling y'all, Miss Smith, I reached out to her. You know, there have been times when I could not pay my rent. And, you know, it's sad, but it's real. And me and my wife, she'll say, we're gonna do the best we can. We're gonna pay what we can pay, and we will not worry about what we cannot pay. So, you know, right now, my life is at a turning point, and I'm beginning to understand the world for what it is, and I understand people like that lady in there that we are here to protest against. Well, okay, well, they in the same bed together, okay? Yeah. All I can tell y'all that, hey man, you know, like, it's power in numbers, and we will have to stand together, okay? United we stand, divided we fall. They are seeking to separate us, okay? They are seeking to cover up our eyes. You know, right now, sure, we probably got somebody in the audience that's gonna report to her what it said. Well, tell them I don't give a damn, okay? I've been wronged, and so many other people have been wronged, okay? And I'm saying it's time for it to stop. It has to come to an end, okay? They are the ones that needs to be put in a cage, okay?
That's right. That's right.
No, I'm saying, okay, they've never been on the other side of a jail cell.
They need to be.
Yeah, but they need to be, okay? And like I say, I know, you know, a few people here today that understand what I'm saying and what I'm talking about. K. Brown Hill, we was in the struggle together, okay? So I'm just telling y'all that right now, the time right now is to stand up and fight for equal quality and justice. If we don't do it, nobody will do it for us. And I'm just telling y'all, I'm available whenever, wherever, however, in this fight against wrongful convictions. My case was overturned on a Brady violation, okay? Which means that the prosecutor withheld evidence from my case. Had this evidence been presented, there would not have been a trial. And by the grace of God, we found it, okay? They called themselves going to change the dates on some paperwork. Well, they didn't change it on all of it, okay? And the ones we found, it truly showed that I was not there, I could not have done it. And finally, we got a judge, well, we got a panel of judges that saw it, and they overturned my case. And after that, I sat in jail, in the county jail, for another 9 months. And the judge that I was in front of saw what was going on, and he released me on reconnaissance bond on a capital murder. Unheard of, okay? Never in the state of Missouri has that happened, but he saw through it, and he was like, you will not turn my courtroom into a circus, he said. I will not keep this man in jail another day. He released me, and I was released in December of 2011, and that following October they dismissed the case, okay? I was on death row 14 years, okay? And after the death row, they gave me a life sentence with no parole. Well, that's death row too, okay?
Yes, that's right.
They figured that, okay, well, we'll take him off death row and he will lay down. No, I started hollering louder, okay? And the lawyers would come and see me and they would tell me, hey man, we saved your life. And I'm telling them, I shouldn't even be here. You know, I should not even be here. And, you know, they would call my family and say, well, you know, the prosecutor said if he appealed this situation, he's going to be back on death row. I said, tell him I'm going to be on death row, okay? Because I will not lay down, okay? And eventually, I found a lawyer that would listen to me, and his name was Kent Gibson. And after he reviewed my case, he told me, he said, man, you should not even be in prison. I don't even know why you are in prison. And he is the one that got my case overturned. And to this day, we friends, okay? So I'm not gonna stay that much time because I know that other people gotta speak. So that's my story, y'all.
So y'all, wrongful convictions is real. And you can best believe that many of them have happened right here out of Douglas County, Kansas. Why? Everybody say her name. What's her name?
Amy McGowan.
Oh, say it one more time.
Amy McGowan.
Yes, that's her name, y'all. And she is corrupt as corrupt can come. Amen. We're going to go on to our next speaker. We have a wonderful lady. She is with a group in Kansas City called Sankofa KC. She's a fighter, y'all. She is a fighter. Miss Esther, you ready to come on up here?
Mama.
It's your turn. Everybody put your hands together for Esther, Miss Esther Rosendahl from Sankofa KC. All right.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
As I sit and listen to Reggie, first of all, I want to tell you all something. I'm a wife, a mother, a grandmother, a great-grandmother. If the Lord blesses me to see September 15th, I'll be 82 years old. And I am so sorry, Reggie, Latahra, and all of you family members who have had to suffer and endure the acts of someone who really is a criminal.
That's right.
Amy McGowan is a criminal.
That's right.
And I do think that it's time for us to stop playing nicety nice and call it like it is. We have relatives who are incarcerated and possibly some who have gone to death row and that death warrant took them to a death chamber and they're no longer with us. And some of those people were innocent. But because of prosecutorial misconduct that is perpetrated by people like Amy McGowan, those people are dead. I had a good friend, Joyce Ann Brown. She was convicted of murder and armed robbery in the state of Texas. And Joyce Ann served 9 years, 5 months, and 24 days in the Texas system for a crime that she did not commit. They knew she wasn't guilty. So there are Amy McGowan's crooked low-life prosecutors all over the United States of America. And it's time for us to stand together. It's time for us to organize even more so, and let it be known in all of the county courthouses or wherever court is being held, that if you don't do the right thing for the people, we will shut you down. See, I'm from the old school of civil rights. I don't like to tell somebody the same thing over and over. The prosecutor, Amy McGowan, is guilty of misusing and abusing the privileges that was entrusted to her by the people. And so I believe that the people have a right to hold the people accountable who in fact allowed Amy McGowan to continue. So as far as I am concerned, and as far as Sankofa for KC is concerned, everybody in that chain of command needs to be investigated, whoever they are. Because I am old school, and I know it doesn't take but one apple to spoil a whole barrel. One bad apple, that's all it takes. And we have a lot of bad apples, y'all. Young people like this young man should not have to suffer and endure this kind of treatment by somebody just because they decided that's what they wanted to do. Amy McGowan is criminal. Not only do we need to get her law license, we need to file charges on her. Anyone who has the responsibility to administer law, we expect to follow the law. You cannot have a law for one person and a different law for someone else. There's either justice for all or there's no justice for anyone. And if the law does not work for all, then according to the Constitution, we have not only a right to change that law, but we have a responsibility to do so. So we have an absolute right to be here today, doing what we're doing. We have an absolute right to shut down county courthouses if they do not represent the people fairly. We have an absolute right to go out and continue organizing and bringing more people in, so that no matter how many people we need, young, old, middle-aged, whatever, we need to let everybody in positions of authority know we ain't taking this mess anymore. We are sick of y'all, and we're not going to put up with it. And I don't use a lot of high, fancy, highfalutin words. I don't represent Mr. Webster. I come in plain language. I am an old country preacher, and I do not try to impress anybody. That's not what I'm out here about. I'm out here speaking up for people who can't speak up for themselves, and young people who are being taken advantage of, and these crooked prosecutors working with these crooked police chiefs. And we need to get these crooked judges out of these black robes. They might as well go on and put on their white robes, because that's what they are. And yeah, I believe in militia. I believe that there comes a time when you have to let folks know, you come for me, I'm coming for you. You mess with me, I'm gonna mess with you. You hurt mine, I'm gonna hurt yours. There comes a time when we have to stop playing nicety nice. You want to get down and dirty? Let's go. And I think we need to stop apologizing and taking responsibility for stuff that we did not do. Decisions we did not make. any problem saying that. And my name is Reverend Esther Hosendorf. Make sure you get it right when you print it. I said what I meant. I meant what I said. Talking is over. It's fight time. God bless you. God keep you. We're in it to win it. This fight is ours. And we got this with the help of the Lord. Stay strong. Stay strong. Stay strong.
She was feisty, ain't she? Boy, she knocked my little speaking skills on to the back, didn't she?
Yeah.
Okay, I tell you what. We're going to move along to our next speaker. We have Mr. Stephen Barbie. Mr. Barbie is a native of Lawrence, Kansas. And that was his wonderful dad who opened us up with prayer. Everybody put your hands together for Mr. Barbie. He has a testimony too.
No justice?
No peace.
No justice?
No peace.
No justice?
No peace.
Let's give it up for Harriet Tubman. That's Harriet Tubman right there.
I see you guys. I'm on too. Okay.
Listen, I'm on home turf. This is home field advantage, so I can talk about anything and everything about this place. That was my dad, Pastor Leo Barbie. He's 83, 82 years old, been pastor here for almost 35, 40 years here in Lawrence, Kansas. His name goes very deep in Lawrence, Kansas. But this system is corrupt. Low down, I did federal time. And I'm gonna give Amy McGowan, your AM stands for you a mess. Your AM, you a mess. And I'm gonna put this out there, Terry Moorhead, wherever you are, you also are in the bed with Amy McGowan. I got set up here in Lawrence. They brought a CI in here to set people up. He came in, smoked crack with me. They let him go. $100 purchase got me a 70-month federal prison sentence. I'm gonna tell you how corrupt they are. They wanted me to snitch on people. They wanted to tell on people, right? And so they brought me down to the DA's office, and they said, "Who you know?" I said, "I don't know nobody." And this is how dirty they are. They said, "What number is 749-0835? I said, "That's my dad's number." They said, "If you don't say something, we're gonna arrest your dad." That's how dirty they are. That's how dirty they are. Because they want to shut me up to shut him up. But they ain't gonna shut him up, and they ain't gonna shut me up. 70 months in that federal system for $100. Listen, it's more than the prosecutors. It's the DA's office. It's the judges. Watch this one here. The dirty detectives. The dirty police. You know, they're a unit. They work together. They got code words and code names and everything else.
Politicians.
I've been housed up here. I ain't been perfect. Got 12 years, been off that crack. Got 12 years, been off that alcohol. God has delivered and set me free. But I was here. Been out there at the new jail. And let me say that they try to do a jail expansion. No, but it ain't going to happen here in Lawrence, because if you expand the jail, you're going to fill it up with us black folk, and we're going to break that down. I did 70 months in the feds. 70 months. I got out January 18, 2012. Because I needed help and I wanted help, the feds let me out after only serving 44 months. Now watch this here. The only time I got written up was when I was at the federal halfway house. It don't stop. It don't stop, like he was saying. To get a job, They told me I had 2 weeks to get a job. 2 weeks. I'm a felon. 2 weeks, and I didn't have my ID, didn't have my birth certificate, and they said we're gonna write you up if you don't have a job within 14 days.
All collusion. Listen what he's saying, y'all. Listen what he's saying.
But by God's grace,
What he's saying.
it got extended. I've been working since April 3rd, 2012, and I haven't looked back. My name is Stephen Barbie. I work and I reside in Kansas City. God has given me a platform to be a change agent. To be a change agent. I just stepped out on faith. I'm going to start my own consultant to help others get out the system. Why? Because I served from my experience, and I served because of my experience. Well, I'm going to tell you how dirty this place is. No, I'm going to tell you how dirty, and I'm going to get out the way. 26 months after my release, because they don't give me 60 months of post-release, but because I became a law-abiding citizen, they closed my post-release, probation, parole, whatever term you want to use, they closed after 26 months. As soon as I stepped foot on that concrete, my voting rights were restored. If you're a felon and you are paper, register to vote because you can vote. The last big election here in the state of Kansas, there was 500,000 felons that could have voted and didn't. Why? Because they're getting the wrong information. Information is what? Power, right? Information is power. We fast forward. I got clearance to go into any state prison in the state of Kansas. I got clearance to go into any state prison in the state of Missouri. I got clearance to go into any federal prison across this great country. Why? Because God is a God of restoration. But I'm going to show you how corrupt this place is, because when I was trying to get my record expunged, somebody say expunged. Say it again, expunged. Listen, they started the paperwork for me to get my record expunged, right? You know what happened? They said, oh, you don't have to be off paper for 3 years. I said, I've been off for 8. They said they filed the paperwork. Filed the paperwork right here in this courthouse. Filed the paperwork. My lawyer says, we can't file the paperwork. I said, why not? You know you got a fine from 1988 that you haven't paid? I'm telling the truth. So I came down here and I walked into the downstairs to pay it off, because I had the money to pay off this, and they said, sir, we can't take your money because this case is too old. You need to go back upstairs and go to the DA. I came upstairs to the DA office, Charles Bronson's office, and I told him, listen, I want to close this case. The lady said, sir, you need to sit down. I sat down. She came back, she said, sir, your case is so old, it's on microfiche. We don't even have it no more in this office. Went back downstairs, they said, we can't take your money.
God said no answer, no.
Went back upstairs, I talked to the judge, wrote some paperwork, and watch this here. June of 2018, I walked out that door, and my record is now expunged. Tell me what God can't do. Because the thing of it is, Harriet Tubman, and we need more Harriet Tubmans. We need a couple of Moseses out here. We need some Joshuas out here.
There you go. Yes. I'll do it.
It's time to get off the bench and get in the game. Get off the bench and get in the game. Because listen, they have played patty cakes for too long. It's time that they play with the truth. And we're going to expose them, because Amy McGowan, listen here. I'm gonna put this on camera. Amy McGowan, listen. Your bed is too narrow and your blanket is too short. You're exposed now. You're exposed. You're exposed. You're exposed. Your slip is hanging. Your ball strap is out. Listen, I'm gonna just go there. Yeah, you hanging. You looking bad. Because listen, we coming after you. Charles Brunson, you a part of it? Because y'all all sleep together, y'all drink together, y'all hustle together, and time is up. I thank God for Harriet Tubman. Because see, if it wasn't for her talking to my dad, I would have never met her. And my dad said, son, you need to get a hold of her. Stay connected to the right people. Stay connected to the right people. My name is Stephen Barbie, that's with the PH. Look me up, www.stephenbarbie.com, if you want more of my story. I want to say thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you. And I'm going to tell y'all something. What he's talking about how dirty they do you when you get out and they try to block you. You know, my testimony too is that I'm an ex-offender. 19 years ago, about this time, I was sitting in a women's federal prison in Fort Worth, Texas. And they did some of the same dirty stuff to me when I got out. And that's one reason why I fight and open transitional homes and go back into prison and minister and help people when they're coming out, transitioning out, getting them clothes and packages and stuff. Because it's needed. I didn't have that. When I got out, matter of fact, 3 of my children, can y'all raise your hand? I have 8 children. And I had to leave them and go to prison. Hurt me very badly. Hurt them too. They went through a lot when I was gone. But I made up my mind when I was sitting in that prison. I said, it ain't a Prada purse, a Gucci purse, a Louis Vuitton, a Lexus. It ain't that important for me to have all that stuff. And I get it the wrong way. It ain't that important. What's important is them babies over there, and I got it together. And I never reoffended. And 1 year out of prison, I got my certification as a problematic volunteer with the Oklahoma Department of Corrections, and I facilitated their entire reentry program. Before the women could get out of prison, they had to attend my class and graduate. Now y'all tell me that ain't God. Amen? And so that's partly too why I do what I do. So it's a lot of us ex-offenders that are out here hitting the pavement. We got another one that's gonna come up in a minute. But I'm telling you, if we don't hit it for those we left behind, won't nobody ever hit it. Amen? Amen. Our next speaker is Miss Saj Kaya. She is from Exonerate My People. It's a wonderful group in Kansas City, Missouri. She's little, y'all, but boy, she's feisty too. She is feisty. So Miss Saj Kaya, she's with Exonerate My People. Everybody put your hands together for Miss Kaya.
Thank you. This is really sobering. I first want to thank KC Freedom Project, because Miss Smith is bad to the bone. Y'all know she is. She crosses every T, dots every I, has that paper trail so that she can speak up on the corruption that's going on here. You know, I do a lot of things, and one of the things is the spoken word, and I'm gonna give you a little piece of that just to joggle your mind. And it goes a little bit like this. And this is what they say to some of the people, the police officers. It's like, reach for the sky. Flip your wings, you can't fly. Told you to clap your hands and worship. It's the tradition of man. Bow down. Live the way they say is right. Under false pretense, under a shaded light. All are sincere in what they believe. But what you don't know, the story they told, left you deceived. So you bow down to the idols they gave, paid your tithes and say you saved, sacrificed your spirit at the altar of lies, Amy. Never knew that's where you died. Under false pretense, under a shaded light. Ain't nobody playing, cause it ain't no game. Ain't nobody playing. Don't you feel shame? Idle mind, you can't find nothing to do. If you stop trying to feed your ego, flatter your flesh, you can get yourself out of this mess. Intimidation, abuse, neglect, homeland insecurity, police state human disrespect, inflicting suffering on the sufferers. We pay their check. But this abuse, this neglect, this Gestapo, you have shut it down, y'all. Shut it down, idol worshipers, yeah. And I said that to say this. We pay their check. These police officers that are abusing you, you pay for the gun, you pay for the car, you pay for the office, you pay for the house they live in, you pay for the schools the children go to. They pay for the pepper spray that sprays in your faces. You pay their check. And these corrupt people cover up for them, you pay for their check too. You pay for this building. So who is responsible? We are. If we, the people, it's time to let them know up in their face that we are not going to tolerate this anymore. We are not your slaves. You are our employees.
Yes.
And you don't seem to recognize that. But it's time that you recognize it, because this is over. We have gotten sick and tired of seeing our people, which are the human beings. I'm not talking about black or white or green or purple. I'm talking about human beings. I'm talking about humanity. And if you don't have any humaneness, then you're not human. So we got a whole lot of people out here that's not human, cold-blooded killers. Amy McGowan, in my opinion, is a cold-blooded killer.
Yes.
Why? Because what she does takes people's lives. And not only do it take their lives, it takes their families' lives and their children's lives and their livelihood. And it's time for this to be over. It breaks my heart when I see the attack on humanity of all the people, our young people especially, our women, our children. You have seen these people put handcuffs on 6-year-olds. People, what is going on here? How can we tolerate this? We better stop it. You better stop it, because it's a setup. You better get up. It's a strategy. It's a strategy. When they first started with the police force, it was to collect you slaves. We ain't slaves, people. We've been set free, but you want us to keep bowing down to criminals? These are criminals, people. These are criminals. These are corrupt people that are doing horrendous things and sleeping at night. Well, we don't need to let them sleep no more. We need to deal with this face-to-face, head-to-head, and let them know what? No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
And we better mean it. Thank you.
I told y'all she was feisty. All right. So we have our next speaker. Where's Miss Tasha? Miss Tasha Neal. When I tell y'all this little lady is a boy, everybody feisty. But this woman right here and another lady. Y'all, what y'all call it? Occupy mass. Oh Lord, y'all, they just took over the people's streets and everything. Camped out with tents. Okay. Well, let me make that correct. Well, they showed us it was our streets because they literally took it over. Tasha, I just want to thank you for the hard work that you've been doing, you and both Ari, and we have Tia, which come down. She's going to be talking here in a little bit. These ladies, I ain't the only Harriet Tubman. And that's funny that Mr. Barbie would call me that, because that's what they call me in the prison. The guys said I'm a modern day Harriet Tubman. I think that's so funny, but that's an honor to me because Harriet Tubman was a great woman. Yes. So that's an honor to me. But these are some Harriet Tubmans too. I think we just gonna call ourselves the Harriet Tubman group. Amen. Tasha, everybody, put your hands together for Tasha.
I'm not much of a speaker. I'm more of a fighter. When I got it, I was reached, I would say 2015 about Latahra's case, and during the time we was going through the thing with the school district, so I kept trying to get somebody else to get on it. When I finally got on it this year, and I started looking at his case, it broke me completely down, because I look at this paperwork and I'm like, I asked my nana, I'm like, this paperwork came from his attorney, which means the DA also has his paperwork. So who am I, to do anything? And she told me, she said, it's not who you are. She said, it's whose you are. We coming for C.J. Rigg, and she's another Amy. We're coming for C.J. Rigg. She's the prosecutor in his case. They withheld evidence. The family came multiple times to the DA office and told them that they had the wrong man arrested. They withheld information of the husband, threatening different people. Charles Brest is on his case, and they basically setting him up. They wanted to set him up so bad that they put other people in danger by not revealing that the husband was running around. Threatening the defense investigators. I just want y'all basically just to keep fighting, keep showing up. Douglas County thought they buried him, but they didn't know God was creating hell and X, and here she is.
I'm Ari Davis, and I partner with Tasha, and we call ourselves the Freedom Fighters. And there's a lot of us out here. I think all of us are freedom fighters because we demand justice for those who can't get it on their own, that are locked up. So Charles Branson, we want Albert Wilson, and we want it now. Free Albert Wilson! Free Albert Wilson!
Free Albert Wilson!
Free Albert Wilson!
Free Albert Wilson!
And there's two things that I know, and that's Latahra Washington is innocent, that Albert Wilson is innocent, and that the DA's office is crooked. Actually, there's three things. And that we're coming to get Albert Wilson. That's the third thing. I can tell you that we have been working tirelessly on the Albert Wilson case from the Topeka and Lawrence area. And we are so thankful that he is set to have a new court date in August. But most importantly, what we're fighting for is for Governor Kelly to exonerate him. We want a full pardon for Albert Wilson right now. And so what she is stating to us is that she's going to give us what it takes for her to give us the pardon, and then we're going to go after it. We're going to get all the information that she requires, and we are going to demand a pardon for Albert Wilson. And if she doesn't give it to us, in 2022, she's up for an election. And we will not let her back into the Capitol without freeing Albert Wilson. Period.
That's right. Yeah.
So Amy McGowan is part of this crooked system. She's been traveling around convicting people and putting people in jail unlawfully from Kansas City to Lawrence to Wichita, and we want her job. She's retired, but we want her law license.
That's right.
Absolutely.
We want to charge.
What I need you guys to do is I need your guys' voices loud. We can't give up. We got to let Albert know that we're coming to get him. So we need the letters going to Albert. We need you guys to rally behind Latahra's. And we are not stopping. We are coming to get all of ours that are locked up. September 11th, 2 o'clock. Latahra's trial date.
Well, thank you, ladies. We sure appreciate you. We appreciate. What's the date again? He said, "What's the next day?"
September 11th. Where?
Here, September the 11th. So as many of you can come out and support Mr. Washington, please do. And Albert Wilson's next court date is August 24th. 25th? August 25th. So as many of you can come out and support that brother, please do. Our next speaker is Miss Brandy O'Lakey. Miss O'Lakey is an advocate for Black Lives Matter, and she is here to speak today. Where's Miss O'Lakey at? All right. Everybody put your hands together for Miss O'Lakey.
Hello. Hi, I'm here today to speak for Shannon Friday. I was talking to Latahra one night, and she was talking about these cases and going through them, and she brought up Shannon Friday. She said that she had sent her a letter to let her know that she was looking into her case, but I guess she had forgot. And then her face came up on the news. And when her face came up on the news, she started crying. And she told her about this because she was crying because she didn't think anybody cared for her. That she didn't know if anyone would come for her. And then she asked her, are you native or what are you? You know, because she was very surprised that someone would come and help her. She's been in jail for 10 years for a crime that she did not commit. There is no DNA evidence on her case. And she's appealed several times, and it's gone to the Kansas Supreme Court, and she still has not been released. So, I mean, I guess I could say some really neat stuff about us being all one and all this other stuff. But what I am going to do is say forget that, because you've kept my sister in jail for 10 years. You've taken advantage of us because you've nearly wiped us out. I picked this man right here is Lakota. When we were driving up the street, I got off the bus and spoke Lakota to him. We rarely ever hear our own language, and you've nearly wiped us off the face of the earth. And what I'm saying to you is, I know you want me to say something nice, but not only on our people, but on black people, this centuries-old open hunting season that's happened for hundreds of years on black and native people must stop. You must stop throwing away our lives. This is no different from the genocide. It is no different from the enslavement when you rip black people's native culture away from them that came from Africa. I'm saying that enough is enough.
That's right.
And that she matters. That natives matter. Indigenous people matter. African indigenous, native indigenous people. And I demand, I'm not asking you nicely. I'm not saying how together we are. I am demanding that you end this open season on my people and stop throwing our lives away. And that's all I have to say.
Yeah, it is.
War cry, war cry. We don't have no more such. War cry, war cry. We don't make any more sacrifice. War cry, war cry. No more sacrifice.
And what she was saying about Shannon Friday is when I began to investigate Amy McGowan, I found out about Miss Friday's case, along with several other people. That name you just told me, I believe I contacted him in prison. I contacted Mr. Anderson. Anyone that I could connect to a wrongful conviction with Amy McGowan, I wrote them in prison, told them I wanted to look into their cases pro bono, and I wanted to try to find something to help them. Well, Shanna didn't know that we were protesting in Topeka. And she was sitting in her prison cell, and some of the ladies ran and told her, "You're on TV, your face is on TV." So she runs, and she goes to the TV, and she sees that banner. And she wrote me, and she said all she could do was cry, because she didn't know that I was still looking into her case and fighting to prove her innocent. And she cried and cried and cried. It's very important not to forget about those who are in prison, period. But especially those who are innocent and wrongly convicted. I skipped over a speaker by mistake. Miss Moffitt, can you come up, please? Miss Moffitt,
Here I am.
where's she at? Miss Moffitt just started a group called Mothers of the Wrongly Convicted. And her son is Keith Carnes, who's wrongly convicted. Amy McGowan's the reason. He's a Jackson County, Missouri case, and she knows that she's got to keep fighting for her son, just like everyone else does. You've got to keep fighting. So everybody put your hands together for Miss Eve Moffitt.
No justice, no peace. No justice,
No peace.
No justice,
No peace.
It ain't right. It ain't right what they're doing. It ain't right. It ain't right to have mothers, to make mothers want their babies. Their children should be at home. My son Keith has been in prison 17 years. 17 years. I don't know how many. I don't know how many days that is, but 17 years. I want my baby home.
Yes.
When I first heard he was arrested and charged with murder, I said, "Not my baby.
Right.
Hell no, my baby." I'm so glad there's people like this woman,
Yes.
Kansas City Freedom
Yes,
Project.
yes, yes. Thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. You know, she's a detailed, oriented
Yes.
investigator.
That's right.
She's aggressive.
Yes.
We need her.
Yes.
You know, I'm gonna tell you this about Latahra. Latahra is like a dog with a bone. She
Yeah.
won't let loose. She won't.
That's right.
Yeah. And we are the people.
Yes.
We are the people.
That's right.
We are the people.
That's right.
We're the people that the Constitution of the United States refers to.
Yes.
The Constitution on its preamble goes, "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union and to establish justice." There's that word again, justice. That's all we want. We want the justice. We want it now. When do we want it?
Now.
When do we want it?
Now.
That's right, and I believe in justice, and that's justice. Everybody that is committed, that is termed legally convicted, needs to be free. He ought to be free. Has to be free.
Yes.
Now that's justice.
You know, can y'all imagine? It's Miss Case. I didn't invite her up to speak. I always do, but she doesn't like speaking. But me and this woman been fighting side by side for 7 years, protesting, sometimes having 5 or 6 people. But we had it, and we made the news each time. Every time we always get media. We're blessed to be able to have media. But me and that woman done had some, I've seen that woman cry. I remember when I met that woman, we were at the prison, and I heard her checking in. She said, "I'm here to see Byron Case." And I said, "Excuse me, are you Byron's mom?" She said, "Yes." I said, "I need to talk to you about your son's conviction. I got some information that may help set your son free." She said, "Huh?" I said, "It's about the prosecutor, Amy McGowan." She said, "That's not who my son had. He had, what's her name? Teresa Crayon." I said, "No, your son had Amy McGowan in the beginning on this case. And I can tell you she did some things that wasn't right." That's how I met that woman. She went and asked her son. She didn't believe me. She said, "Byron, did you have Amy McGowan on your case?" He said, "Yes, Mom, I did in the beginning." And I tell you, his case was featured on, was it MTV? MTV? Brian Ferguson's show, I can't remember the name of it. But that's how I met this woman, and we've been fighting side by side for 7.5 years to get her son free and Keith Carnes free. We fought, we stood alongside, we advocated for Ricky Kidd. We didn't do his case, Midwest Innocence Project did, but every opportunity we had, we brought attention to that case. I had a radio show that I used to speak on. Matter of fact, Keith Brownell is one of the other hosts on the show as well. We both hosted on Jaws of Justice, KKFI 90.1 FM in Kansas City. We did a lot of shows about wrongful convictions and injustice. That's all we focus on. That's why it was called Jaws of Justice. We've been fighting for these people for a long time, y'all. So when y'all see us come out, like how we came from Kansas City to come down here and speak up from Mr. Washington and Mr. Wilson.
Can everyone hear?
When we're doing this on our end in Kansas City, we need y'all to come and stand with us in our Jackson County, Missouri case. Because it's going to take all of us to make something happen. Our next speaker we have is Mrs. Tia Hartwell. She was the organizer for the Wichita bus. She's here as a fierce advocate for Mr. Albert Wilson. We're all advocates for Albert Wilson and Mr. Washington. But she gathered together and did everything from Wichita. I'm going to turn this over to Miss Tia.
Thank you. So, as she said, we're from Wichita, Kansas. If you're from Wichita, Kansas, make some noise. It was important for us to be here because we are tired of using hashtags. All right, we have got to move past just the hashtags and the rallies and such. We have to demand change happen. And a part of that is the efforts that we're doing now, the signing of the letters and the complaints in order to do that also. Back in Wichita, I teach, and we teach young people that they can be anything that they want to be. But there is a school to prison pipeline that we have got to address. Because too many young people are being railroaded. They're even using the foster care system in order to railroad young people. You know? So when you think about what we're doing here today, the demanding of accountability and transparency could not be any more evident than right now, because we need it more than ever. So when you think about the fact that right now we have young people who, if they get into contact with police officers, you all, that could be a matter of life and death. It could be a matter of, you know, them receiving time that is not just for them. And so we have got to move between, you know, we use these hashtags on social media. We cannot stop there. We have to make sure that we are holding our elected officials accountable. We have to make sure that we are getting to the voting booths. That's a piece of that, okay? So I want to make sure that I also share some time. There's two other men who are very vocal right in Wichita with me. Antar has been at this for a long time. Before I was even with it, he was talking about dismantling the system from the top down to the bottom. So I do want to give him a little bit of time. And then also, we have Devon Bray, who has been using his platform. What he's doing here today is even making sure that he gets footage, because beyond just today, it is so important to make sure that we control the narrative. Controlling the narrative is very important in what it is that we're doing. And so he's making sure that he does that also. So Antar.
How's everybody doing? So some of these cases are new to me today, but Albert Wilson's case, it really touched me, because how many of you guys have heard of Emmett Till? Do you know he was killed for supposedly whistling at a white woman? How many of you heard about the story of Rosewood, Florida, why that whole place was burned down?
That's right.
Okay, that was supposedly because a man sexually assaulted or flirted with a white woman.
Yeah.
I learned in 7th grade that looking at a white woman can get me in trouble. I'm gonna just share a little story with you. I was actually suspended in the 7th grade for looking at a white woman. They told me I gave her something called elevator eyes. At the time, I didn't even understand what that meant. The principal told me I looked her up and down. My father was there, and I told him, I said, Pops, I look people up and down every day. I didn't know that was a form of sexual harassment. But I say that to say this. Albert Wilson might not even be here if this was 50 years ago, because of supposedly something done to a white woman. But I don't want to just say it's a racist thing, but racism does exist, and we all know that. You know what I'm saying, from the top to the bottom. And I know we have a lot of pressure on the police right now, but we know it's DAs out here that are doing things that are wrong. It's judges out here that are doing things wrong. It's legislators that are out here doing things wrong and support these kind of things. You know what I'm saying? Even some of our presidential candidates right now. But we have to come together like this today and let people know that we don't stand for this. You know what I'm saying? We won't have people spending life in jail, life in prison for things that they didn't do, whether it don't matter if you're black, white, or blue. You know what I'm saying? Wrong is wrong, and we're not going to stand for it anymore. So I just want to put that out there, a little history, you know what I'm saying, about things that have happened to black men with white women and the things that can happen from that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I love y'all, I appreciate y'all coming out, and that's all I got to say about that.
Okay, we're going to go to our next speaker, but after our two last speakers, we will then end our rally and we'll open up everything to public comments. We try to do public comments about the last 30 minutes of a rally. So we have two more speakers that I want to come up. Paisley. This is my daughter, Paisley. She's coming up. I always tell my kids, y'all got to do stuff with me and take over. When the Lord call me home, y'all got to keep it up. You got to keep up the fight. This is my oldest baby. My oldest girl. We fight. Don't talk to each other for 30 days. But she knows she need me. I'm going to be there. Somebody mess with her, I'm going for her. And vice versa. But my baby went through a lot when I was incarcerated. She had to step in and be the mom that I wasn't there to be. So I wanted to include her in this today. She can tell you what it was like when my son, who was incarcerated for capital murder, something he didn't do, how it took our family through a transition, and that's what I wanted to open up this platform today and use her today. This is my baby's first time speaking, y'all. Put your hands together for Paisley.
Okay, so I wrote something. I was told yesterday that I was doing this guest speaking. So my first encounter, well, hello everyone, and I just want to thank everybody today that's here fighting this fight with us. My first encounter with this kind of injustice was when my brother was locked up. And when I look back on it, I really think I was too young to really see what was really going on. But as I moved to Missouri to join my mom, after my grandmother died on this end, there was cases like Albert Wilson, who, like he was speaking on the situation with a white woman. It really touched me, even before my mom told me, not just Albert Wilson's, but Byron Case, Ricky Kidd, and it really touched me because now I'm a mother. I have a son. It could be any one of our kids, you know what I mean? And it's very sad that it takes some unjust like this to bring our eyes, like, you know, other people have to go through it. But when I think about everything that everybody has going on too, I knew then it was time to join my mom in this fight. I could never imagine someone doing my son that way and me not being proactive in it. People, we must use our voices to stand up and fight now. I think about even where we're from in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street.
Black Wall Street. Yes.
And there was the young boy that was the same thing that the young man that was speaking before me, a white elevator lady, and he was accused, and they burned down a bunch of stuff.
Burned down
and you know, so all this stuff would be in vain if we didn't use our voices to stand up and fight.
Right.
So you got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything.
That's right.
And it starts with the crooked police, but it ends with people like Amy McGowan and the corrupted DAs and judges and all of them. So I just want to end this by saying, you know, I'm glad that I've joined this fight, and I will continue to fight this fight. And I hope that you all continue to fight as well and use your voices as a platform for those who have died, and let none of this go in vain. Right. You know, George Floyd, you know, it's been going on too long. And I just thank y'all. What do we want?
Justice.
When will we want it?
Now.
That's right.
Good job.
Thank you, Paisley. Our next speaker is Mr. Keith Brown L. Mr. Brown, we've been fighting for 7.5 years. We always together. We got a little team. Miss Esther, Keith, Miss Case, Jeff Humpfield, who couldn't be here today. We got some other people that couldn't be here, but we've been fighting, y'all. And this brother right here, I saved him for last because he's such a powerful speaker. And I saved him for last. You ready? After he speaks, if you want to make a public comment, the line is over here. We have a Mr. Overstreet. He's going to be the very first person that's going to speak for the public comments. If you want to speak, you have to line up right here, and we'll give everybody about 5 minutes to speak at the most, and then we will be done with our event for today. So after him, we'll close out our rally and then we open for public comments.
Thank you, Latahra. I wanted to say something. I want y'all to listen real good to what I'm about to say. This country, with its institutions, belongs to the people who inhabit it. Whenever they should grow weary of the existing government, they can exercise their constitutional right to alter or amend it, or their revolutionary right to dismember or overthrow it.
That's right. That's right. That's your duty.
If by mere force of numbers, a majority should deprive a minority of any clearly constitutional right,
that's right,
it might, in any moral point of view, justify revolution.
Right. That's right. That's right.
That's Abraham Lincoln, 1861.
Yeah, tell the truth.
Now, in the book of Revelations, it talks about a beast that came up from the bottomless pit.
Come on now.
He had 7 heads and 10 horns. And it said every time you injured one of those heads or killed one of those heads, it grew another one.
Yeah.
That's as close as I can come to describing the situation that we are in today.
Right. Yeah.
We gotta, if we don't find a way to change this government in a peaceful manner, we're gonna have to pick up the guns. They already got their guns. And they waiting on us to start something, but we gotta make sure we ready.
Well, the militia came, they didn't show up.
You know, now, they don't mind killing us and wiping us out. But I don't think they're ready to do all the dying that we've been doing, and we need to make them understand that.
Oh, yes, sir. Right now, watch out.
Say it again. Say it again.
Our biggest downfall is that we've been asleep for too long. But we starting to wake up, and I'm proud to see
That's
that.
right.
I felt pride when I saw people marching through here with all these orange shirts. You know, because when we first did this the first time, we didn't have that many people when we started out. You know, we got a few more people. We got to keep on getting the word out and let people know what we're doing.
You got to continue to grow.
Amy McGowan has been a big problem. She's a small portion of the problem. We got prosecutors all over this country. And it's a movement called Real Justice that's trying to get a lot of these prosecutors put out of office.
Right.
This is an election year, and we need to get the word out and let people, we need to find viable candidates that's going to elect progressive-minded prosecutors and put them in office. Because when you lock somebody up and you put them in prison, you don't just lock them up, you lock their whole family up.
That's right.
Their whole family is in prison. I know. I did 36 years out of my life in prison. You know, but I feel like I'm a better man for it. Everybody ain't that fortunate.
Right.
You know, I don't go around trying to tell people I'm innocent for. I was good for the crimes I went to prison for. But I don't feel like I did nothing wrong because I did what I had to do. You know, so, you know, but I'm just saying, you got people in a lot of these places who are innocent of their crimes. It used to be a time when I first went to prison. Somebody, you know, everybody in prison, man, just about everybody, they gonna tell you, hey man, I'm innocent of my crime, I didn't do it. You know, it used to be a time when somebody walked up to you and said, man, I ain't good for my case, I'm innocent. You looked at them and you say, yeah, right. You can't do that no more, because a lot of times when people come up to you and they tell you, I didn't do this, man, I'm innocent, they not lying. You don't have, man, Ricky Kidd is just one person.
Right.
Daryl Burton is just one person. Lamont McIntyre is just one person. These are people that's just been recently released. They let one out every once in a while. All right, we let them out, so y'all go on, lay down, sit down, and shut up. No!
No. Let them all
you got a whole bunch of them.
That's right.
And we want all of them. That's what Missouri Cured, which is an organization that I'm a part of, that's what we working for. We want innocent people out of prison.
That's right.
We want people who have been incarcerated long enough to be rehabilitated out of prison.
Yeah.
Just keeping these people, locking people up, keeping them locked up 35, 40, 50 years, that's nonsense.
Slave trade.
If it takes that long for you to rehabilitate them, why do you keep asking the legislature for all this money for these rehabilitation programs?
Get it true.
And people that we can't get out of prison, that they can't let out, we want everybody else to have fair and humane treatment.
That's right.
But that's not going to happen if we don't put our nose to the grindstone and start working hard to make it happen. It's going to be people like us that make that happen.
Make it happen.
Keep those words of Abraham Lincoln in your head. And remember that when you out here fighting.
Yeah.
You ride through the city now and you see these signs hanging up at these hospitals and healthcare centers. They say heroes work here. We got some heroes right here today. And we see them every time we come out to do one of these. So keep what I told you about Abraham Lincoln in your mind. That's as close to the truth as you're going to ever get. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to say this before we end. I want to thank everyone for coming out today. Your voices are important. Your voices are powerful. And we might not can't see them, but I'm sure they're peeping out them windows and doors. I'm sure they are.
Yep.
And we do have some reporters here. We want to thank the reporters who are here. We have one from the KC Star, the Lawrence Journal World, I believe. We have CJ Online. We have IJTV. Gabriel is here. He rode the bus with us. He's filming because we're also working on a documentary film. And this is strictly about Amy McGowan and all her victims. And this film will be coming out early fall.
All right now.
We're not playing with Amy.
Ain't no game.
We want Amy's license, and we're not going to stop until we get it. Amen?
I want to charge and convict it.
So I thank each and every one of you for coming out today. I pray for those of you who got on the bus here in Lawrence and rode over here with us, get back on that bus that you were on, because lunch will be on that bus when we load up, okay? And you're more than welcome to get on that bus and grab you some food real quick and some drinks and stuff, and then you know they'll be taken off. But please get on the bus and get you some pizza. Lunch is provided on each bus, and there's plenty of drinks, chips, cookies, donuts, and a whole bunch of stuff. Matter of fact, I got to give y'all some donuts. Okay. So I thank you all for coming out. Keep your T-shirts because we're gonna have more of these rallies. Okay. Amen. And we're gonna be coming together.
Yeah.
So thank y'all so much for coming today. This rally is officially over. However, it is open for public comment. And I want to say with public comments, and I have to say this, I'm not responsible, okay, for what is said during public comments. And I just have to be honest and say that it's not the views of the KC Freedom Project, and I have to say that because, boy, one time somebody took this mic, and I had a lot of explaining to do. And I'm not trying to explain that no more.
Right.
Okay? But I do ask, if you take this mic, please refrain from using profanity. Please do so. We want to do things decent and in order. And we always want to do things in a way that's pleasing before the eyes of the Lord. So our first public comment, I believe, is Mr. Overstreet. We have Mr. Cooper Overstreet here. Mr. Overstreet is running for district attorney here in Douglas County, Kansas. Put your hands together for Mr. Cooper Overstreet. And let me say this before he comes up here. We invited Charles Bronson to come out because he's also running for district attorney. And he didn't come.
Tell him to run
So
the other way.
we weren't showing favor by having Mr. Overstreet here because we invited him out as well, and he opted not to come. So, Mr. Overstreet, we're going to give this to you. Public comment, you guys, please keep them to about 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you, Latahra. And I'm going to keep it shorter than that because this isn't about me. None of this is about me. This is about you all who are out here right now. And the things that you're saying are things that have been being said in our justice system for years.
Where'd you guys get your gimbal? That's the one you had sitting right there, right? Where'd you get that?
Amazon.
Did you really? Did you really? Cause you can put an actual camera in there, right?
Yeah, you got hot shoe mount.
Oh man, that's awesome. You can take that.
I had it connected to my other little.
Yeah, I saw that. That's awesome. Cause this thing's pretty much just a cell phone, and I can't take the top. So, yeah, I'm about to look into that. What's it called?
This shit is super cheap, bro. It's just like a little tripod.
Well, I like the adapter piece. Yeah, because you could put your cell phone in there. And
that was separate.
That position is the most powerful position because that's the position that decides who gets charged with a crime, who goes to jail, and who goes home to be with their family. The fundamental role.
Yeah, that guy, man. I think he's awesome.
It is dope. They got a bunch of hot shoe mounts with lights on it. Walk with it, people stable.
Accountability, transparency, those are words that those words don't mean anything.
I don't remember where I got this from exactly. I ordered it online somewhere.
That's why
this
things like
$7, bro.
Are you kidding me?
Super cheap.
Are you kidding me?
No lie. I've had it for a couple of years. Great for my steady shot.
Yeah, no kidding, man.
Like I say, lights.
Because as I grow, I'm getting more and more equipment. Like I talked to the other guy with the stabilizer.
So they put on a tripod, get them nice,
man.
smooth turns and shit.
You all keep doing what you're doing.
I'm about to look for one of those because I like that you can put a cell phone and a camera.
Slide stuff in it too. Like, I don't even whatever these things are for. I don't know.
Yeah, lights like a mic. Like on my camera, I got a mic slot. So you could
you know, 5 different. I had them and the side too. They got them on the side too. So if you go this way with it,
oh man, that's nice. Yeah, I saw sitting over them like this. It's awesome. It's hot.
Yeah, super cheap though. Just look online. I want to say it's like a steady shot, something like that. Steady shot. Gimbal.
Can you put it on a tripod? Okay, cool. Yeah, man, I think it's sick. I think it's so sick. I love it.
One of them is reparation.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
We want 2 things.
Cut the check.
462 years of tax-free. Don't we deserve it? Yeah. All right, you too. Secondly, we want the equivalency of the 40 acres. What is valued in today? We want it. If they don't get it, well, y'all seen what we did in Washington, D.C. last week. Kansas guard, that's the Kennedy to take the White House black. He sent Trump running into a bunker. And the Secret Service told him it's best you stay there. So that can tell you how much power you got. Limited. They might still call him the president. He ain't. Him, Gates, Fauci, a lot of them have been in court, Supreme Court, since February this year. Y'all, they ain't gonna tell you, but I'm sure a lot of y'all got a video in your Facebook message. It's real. They in court, human trafficking, all kinds of stuff, okay? Let that be known. Leave it up to me, I'm gonna stay back. And if it was my choice to put the White House flag, then the future is good. Straight up. Second thing I want to speak on, there's another corrupt prosecutor in here called Jean. She the snake of the snake. She lay on her belly and go. Okay? She's one of my arch nemesis. She hate me and I hate her. She won't be dead if she can't kill me. As far as I'm concerned, there's a special place in hell for that help. And I call her help because as far as it don't cover. Now, okay, in 2000, either early 18 or late 17, we had somebody running around, they called him the Indian Creek Trail serial killer. Okay, with 5 white people that died on this trail in South Kansas City, right? Well, Jean Peter Baker, she had this black man named Freddie P. Scott arrested. We can't, sorry, did you ever find him in DOC? Okay, so I don't know where he is, y'all. Pray for him. I'm still looking for the family to reach out to me. He did not kill
Mark Darby, the #1 person they're talking about, he was hit. He's a prominent attorney. He was a prominent attorney in Kansas City. One more minute, y'all. I'll tell you that. But who really killed him was a family called Roebuck out of Indiana. If y'all looked up Robert Roebuck, he's the only one you're going to find. You're going to find Bobby, Robin, or Charlie Toller, or Earl Johnson. Y'all not going to find them because they operating under impunity. See, they use people like that to commit state-sanctioned homicide. And that's what happened on that trail. They killed 5 people or 6 to make it look like a serial killer thing, but for real, the primary target was Mark Darby. And Frederick D. Scott is innocent, and we want him. We want him free. And if he dead, Gene Topeka, I tell you what, I stood outside your office. I told you to come to the yellow line so I could roundhouse you, but you didn't come out and was looking out the windows like they are. Gene's going down. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. All power to the people. All power to the people. All power to the people. All right, y'all. Stay woke.
Hello, everyone. I'm not a public speaker. I haven't done this very much. My son is Dominic White. He was killed September 28, 2017 by 2 Topeka police officers, Justin Mackey and Michael Cruz. They shot him in the back as he was running away. The DA did not file charges against those officers. They're still working for the Topeka police.
Who was the DA?
DA Michael Pegay.
Pegay!
He needs to be out. He told my family, when he told us that he wasn't filing charges, he told us to our faces in the basement. They took us to the basement of the courthouse to show us the video and tell us that they weren't filing charges. And he told us before we walked out. He does not. The narrative is that Dominic ran and was reaching for the gun, a gun in his left pocket. He had big cargo shorts on. The pocket was down here. The gun, as heavy as it is down here at the bottom of his pocket. There was no way running. He was reaching for that gun. But the narrative is that's why the officer shot him. Since then, I've learned that the officer shot him before he stepped off the curb to run. KK told us that he does not believe Dominic was reaching for the gun. What he does believe is Dominic was in fear for his life and running for his life. However, he doesn't charge these officers. He hasn't only told me and my family that. He's told many advocates that speak with him that that's what he feels. He feels Dominic was not reaching. So Dominic should not have been murdered. Those officers should be held accountable. And that transparency should be there. The city of Topeka, those citizens have been fed such crap, lies, and narratives. Even our city council members say things like,
No, you're all good.
well, when you want the police to take care of a man with a gun acting erratic in the park, that's not the case. That's their narrative. That's not what was happening. He was sitting on a park bench with his girlfriend. Other than that, I don't know what else to say, but the corruption has to be, we have to stop this corruption from the top down. From the top down, all the way down to these police officers. Qualified immunity has to stop, and they have to be held accountable. Held accountable. Thank you.
Hi everybody. First thing I wanted to say is just thank you to everybody that's here in person. Thank you to everybody that's here in spirit and within solidarity as well. I'm not very good at this. I'll never pretend to be, so I wrote a little speech. But I just wanted to say also thank you to all the organizations that stand in this fight together for true equity, for freedom, and for justice of those that deserve it. That being said, my name is Jonathan Stivers. I am with the organization Fight for Freedom Kansas City. Today I speak on absolute justice. Today I speak for those that cannot, and today I seek justice for the men and women that have been wrongfully convicted by the negligence within our corrupt justice system. A justice system that is built off of greed and racism. Within these specific cases that we are here to discuss, there was not only negligence, but intimidation and lies used to further individual careers, which resulted in the taking of lives and freedom of those that, didn't deserve such a treatment. All the way from the homicide detectives that didn't arrest or execute on the arrest warrants on eyewitnesses that not only recanted their statements, but confessed that they were pressured into falsifying their testimonies by the prosecution teams themselves. And to the judge that ignored vital facts and evidence, thereby taking the freedom of persons undeserving of such blatant disregard of human rights. We are here today to bring justice to the entirety of the legal team that failed Keith Carnes and so many more after him and before him as well. We are here today to fight for the true freedom of every individual that has been oppressed, discriminated against, and chained in result, because when one of us is in chains, none of us are free. This country has never experienced true freedom, as we have always been under a blanket of oppression. From the 13th Amendment, which was formed in 1789 and revised in 1992, funnily enough, which states in basic terms, if anybody doesn't know, that slavery and involuntary servitude are acceptable when someone has been convicted of a crime. 13th Amendment. To the badge that is used to protect those that brutalize and terrorize minority groups and citizens on the lower end of the economic scale, and all the way to the higher government that ignores our voices and empowers wrongful and hateful actions. I speak for all of us within F3KC, Fight for Freedom Kansas City, when I say we will fight until the day this country experiences true equity for every individual, and even up until the day that we take our final breath. We fight with and for the people, because all of us are the people, and united we stand, and we will never be divided again. No justice? No peace! No justice? No peace! No justice? No peace! Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Darian Richmond with Fight for Freedom Kansas City. I wanted to start out talking about Amy McGowan and how she didn't just make mistakes as a prosecutor, all right? She knowingly sent innocent people to jail. She knew that she had evidence proving that they were innocent and sent them away anyways. That means that she's destroying lives on purpose of innocent people. Another way, a better way to put that, is that she's taking lives from innocent people on purpose. I keep hearing people call this misconduct, probably because of her office or her title. You call it misconduct in this situation. No, if you're destroying if you take someone's life from them, I live in Kansas, and in Kansas, if you take someone's life from them, that's called murder. This is not misconduct, and we are playing it way. I understand having a reasonable goal, all right, trying to get her license stripped from her, but let's be real and understand what people like Amy McGowan are doing to us. They're taking our lives from us, and that should be considered murder. We're willing to put away people for the rest of their lives over drug charges, but if they destroy a life, then it's misconduct. That's just not right. I want to make sure we're all on the same page on that. But things like this, injustices like these, they're not just caused by one individual, all right? They're caused by an entire oppressive system. So it's not enough to just go after one individual. We need to call the individuals out like we're doing today. But you need to realize that when we get justice against this one individual, it's one person in an oppressive system. And we need to go after the system as a whole. Fixing this has got to be a two-step process here, though. Focusing one more time on the individual situation. We have to hold Amy McGowan accountable for her actions, and we need to free the people who've been locked up on her watch, locked up and victimized by her. And we can't rely on the systems we have in place to do that. The systems we have in place are what got us here in the first place. You don't, a popular opinion y'all probably heard before. If you have a criminal, you don't take your case to the criminal, you take your criminal to court. In this case, the criminal is a system, all right? And you can't rely on the system to fix itself because they're just gonna say everything's fine. Yeah, I got you. They're just gonna say everything is fine. So we have to demand our justice ourselves. And that's why we're out here. That's why I know I'm gonna keep seeing people out here. Because we're not going to just rely on and trust the system in place to fix itself. We're out here to demand that it gets fixed because we know it's not going to get fixed any other way. Can I get an amen? All right.
Down a little bit, last night. Anyway, ladies, gentlemen, friends, and comrades.
What's your gimbal? Can it flip around when you press the button, or how does that work? Like,
it's more than just talk the talk.
When I'm not on
we are actually
Facebook
walking
Live,
the walk.
like if I'm
There's a
just
lot of
using
people
the
out there that are
for this,
out there talking
like
the talk,
hit
out there
the
with their
camera,
friends
and
on
they can,
social
like,
media and stuff. And contrary to what a lot of people
portrait the
believe,
landscape.
talk is not action.
Yeah.
And so you also give yourself
you
a
can
little
do
round of
like different
applause
things,
just
and
to
then
show
you can do
that
active
you're willing to
tracking.
take action.
If you click on the trigger, it'll follow
my name
you
is Lance,
with whatever's in the
I'm a
middle.
representative of a
So
new
it's actually a pretty cool
organization
gimbal. It's
called Fight for Freedom.
But
it's
it'll just turn your camera facing
I
you,
call
but
this
it doesn't actually turn the camera
No, it
around.
flips the camera. Yeah,
It is my personal philosophy that
it's
until
connected
all of
to
us are
Bluetooth.
free, none of us are free.
But
And
with
so by
Facebook
fighting
Live,
for the freedom of these individuals wrongfully incarcerated, I in turn am also
I can
fighting
only
for
really
yours
like
and
recenter
mine.
it.
Because
If I
even
turn
though
it, I
you
can just
and I might
click
be
and
free relative to
recenter
these
it back on
persons,
the.
in this system when
I'm
such
back on the,
injustices are even possible, none of us are truly
Not right now,
free.
not right now. But if it's using the software, if I'm just recording
This brings me to the point of what I would really like to say, and that is that we are at war. Anyone who is living or is living in this country wishing that it would be a land of liberty and equality for all people has been at war with this system for 400 plus
What do you mean?
years.
Like, what do you mean?
I say anyone and all people because I see so many of my own people
you know
that
what I'm
tend to
saying?
forget
He's always using his
we
back
have always
camera,
had
but he press a
allies,
button
even
and
if they
it
were
flips
much
it so
fewer
it's
and
facing
further
him.
back
Oh,
then.
really?
You don't have
There
to
were
like
white
switch
people
cameras.
making trouble
But I
by
was
using
like,
their house
I've been
as
trying to
stations
find
for the
which one that
Underground
is and shit, but
actively
he have so
speaking
many
out for
comments in the
abolition,
comments
and
section,
some
I
greater
can't
still, like John
get
Brown,
no
who
response
actually
from
took
him.
life in defense of
There's
freedom and
a
equality
ton.
for his fellow man.
last week.
It is in this spirit
This
that
one's
Fight for
alright.
Freedom
It
Kansas City
was,
is made. We
I'm
are
gonna say,
freedom
like,
fighters standing
150.
together in this war, and a
That's
war
not
is
bad,
won one
but,
battle
like,
at
it's
a time.
just
Today, we are here fighting a battle for prosecutorial transparency and accountability, as well as the freedom of the wrongfully incarcerated.
Yeah, look into the
Remember, however,
Oslo
that winning these battles does
OS
not mean that the war is won.
And then they
For
got like
as
a couple
long as there is a
different
prison
ones, but
industrial complex that makes money from pouring the poor and disadvantaged into modern day
Kinda like
slave
yours,
labor,
like
there
one
will
side
always
shaved,
be
kinda
an
a little bit
incentive for
long.
them to keep doing it, at least in mine.
Oh, I haven't heard.
This will always keep happening. And this is why when I'm asked, what do I hope to achieve? What exactly am I out here for? Well, I know precisely what that answer is. My condition for victory is that I will not be able to declare it on this front until the 13th Amendment itself has been amended to not allow for slavery under any circumstances, even as punishment for a crime. This is my second mission of victory, at least on this front, because we've still got the whole economic and anti-imperialism front. We'll tackle that later, one battle at a time, I said. But that is my ultimate goal, at least on this front. Even if my entire life must become devoted to it, then so be it. Because like Huey P. Newton said, by devoting my life to the revolution, I gained eternal life. Thank you all, and all power to the people.
How you guys doing? All right. It feels good to be melanated, right? See, I'm out here with a bunch of strangers, but I feel like I'm a family. That's how comfortable I feel, you know? So a little bit about myself, I'm the product of being Native American and African. So, you know, I feel like they've done two injustices to me, you know? At the same time. So, a little bit about me, I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada. I've been in jail, you know, for public intoxication out there. They treat us just the same out there as out here, you know, everywhere I go, you know. I've been in Texas, I've been in jail up there a few times, you know, but everywhere we go, we're still treated like we're criminals, you know. So, you know, it's time we stand up. Like someone said earlier, we got to use our voices, right? For the ones that
I
can't
was just
speak.
watching that video like last
So
week
what I
on
did,
Gimbal.
I want to you guys with a little spoken word, right?
Something different. Like I said,
I
I like
said,
what I have. 'Cause
Man,
it works.
life.
I would get something
It's full
with
of
like
twists and turns.
with like a
It's bridges burned.
that
Shoulders becoming cold on this
out
corrupt
on there.
earth.
Something that
Species
that works with
becoming a
that because
danger
like
on
I'm
their
stuck
polluted
with a cell
turf.
phone with this. I can't use
Birthing
it.
mothers with STDs
You know,
giving birth.
so,
Random acts of violence and drugs each year getting worse.
just a cell phone.
Single parents raising children on their own with minimal support from the government, which really doesn't care about what you're learning. Fight and die for what?
Yep.
A country full of deceitful lies that gives us hope? I'd rather die in a barrel of flies and vultures picking at my throat. Or better yet, like Cheech and Chong up in smoke. Now, I'm not advocating drugs, but I'd rather die like a thug than to give my life up for a country that's thugging the rest of us. Yo, tell me why they're so quick to slip minorities in handcuffs. To put us in the system to keep us defenseless? In these modern days, what exactly is justice? Tell me when will the ignorant people stop with the racism? When they are racist or put us in cages? Continue to make us kill one another in hatred? Then they use and abuse us in the media for entertainment? Now who do we blame for these acts of ashamed? We have to invest in ourselves as he changes. Thank you. That's my time.
Is this bottom a clarifying?
Yeah. It's added by it separate though. It's just
My name is Samuel Hook. I'm a United States Marine. I signed intelligence from the Marine Corps. Therefore, they gave me a top secret.
because most everything should.
They didn't Latin move me,
Yeah, that's
calling airstrikes,
that's
going
the
crypto on the
type
radio,
of
deciding the fate of a whole village. Why we there, I don't know. The heroes and killers, I don't know. But I'm not here to talk about
Does
that.
it come with the gimbal?
I came to just peacefully talk, you know,
I'm just looking for the mount
today.
part.
I saw y'all, and I appreciate it.
I'm trying to see what it actually
I
mounts.
appreciate what y'all are doing, for real.
That's for the phone.
I was a caseworker at Family Service and Guidance Center.
So there's it looked like it had a
Show
clamp.
American Ninja Warrior, done some things. But as a caseworker, I went in out of school all over Topeka. I saw the schools in the Highland Park, they call Highland and Dark. I saw the schools in the rich white side. And the school lunches weren't the same, y'all. School lunches weren't even close to the same. The teachers weren't the same. Our kids are not being raised the same.
20 bucks, man. I'm gonna check that one out.
First and foremost.
No, right, not at
They all
all.
have to be brought up the same. You know what I'm saying? We have to have across the board the same type of quality lunches, same type of quality teaching. Other than that, look, a quick history lesson. Our country's a bunch of gangsters.
That's right.
They said they're not gonna pay their taxes to Britain. Then they thought about it, right? Then they went and took over, that greed went and took over the whole West Coast. I'm 45% Native American, Cherokee, Choctaw, Seminole. Okay? The rest is white, boy, eyes don't lie. It is what it is. None of us chose our face, none of us chose our eyes, none of us chose our skin color. So the white man defeated Britain, their daddy, didn't want to pay their taxes no more. They took the land from the natives. If the natives would have went one tribe, you know, Cherokee, Choctaw, Seminole, all these different tribes, if they would have went one tribe, they know the land better than any of them dudes that just come over here. It would have been over right there. Then they purchased black slaves from black folks. If the black man's the most gifted athlete on the face of the planet. Turn on your TV Saturday, Sunday, all the best players are, well. So what I'm saying is, even when the slaves came up and they're having, you know, Serena Williams and Bo Jackson procreate over and over again, if they would have went one tribe,
Yeah.
it's over. It's over. And I'm saying right now, it's 2020 woke season. Everyone gets to wear a mask. I think that evens the playing field, to be honest with you. They allow us to cover up our markings, cover up our fingerprints, cover up our faces, go wherever we want to. Look, it's 2020 woke season. I'm saying one tribe. We go one tribe, and this thing, and Meek's on the hair of the earth. It's been in the Bible. 2 Timothy 1:7, for God did not give us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. This is power right here. Listeners, people of different colors get together, that's power. They hear us. They hear us, and you were right. I seen them, they're peeking their heads out. They scared. They scared. I myself was on Topeka Boulevard. Hey, I've lived all over this country, I really have. I'm a musician now, woo-woo. But check it, I was on Topeka Boulevard last Saturday. I promptly got in the middle of the road and did 15 handstand push-ups, just showing out, having fun, right? They arrested me. About 10 cops right up on me. They all know who I am in that town. They tackled me to the ground, shoved my face into the ground, and then I could not breathe. I was saying, Jesus, 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 I cannot breathe. They had me all folded up like a pretzel. And what they say is this, I was not moving one muscle. They say, quit resisting! And that's how they're getting away with murder. is they say quit resisting and they kill you, and they say that you were trying to fight them. In my case, I was on intelligence and Marine Corps, so I'm a trained killer by the government. So all they have to say is I was moving my pinky and they can kill me. Luckily, I took little tiny breaths of air, and that's all, you know, and I stayed alive in Jesus' name. And I'm saying, hey, it's 2020 woke season, y'all. One tribe, let's go.
We have one last speaker. This will end our public comments. And then after she finishes, I'll officially close us out. And we'll go from there. Ready, sweetie?
Hi. So I wrote some stuff, so if you see me checking on my phone, that's what that is. I'm not used to public speaking. I have not public spoke since I was in high school. That was a long time ago. All right. These ladies here with me are the other leaders in the White Rose Society. My name is Champagne. I am one of 5.
You're from where you guys
from the White Rose Society.
Where are you out of? What city?
We operate in Johnson County mainly. So Overland Park, we had a No Justice, No Sleep rally last Saturday. We went through the neighborhoods while the rich white people were sleeping. They didn't like that. Not like that. They were very upset. A couple of the people who were protesting got hit by cars more than a couple of times. Thankfully, nobody had to go to the hospital or anything. But that's why we say at that march, no justice, no sleep. Until we see justice, you're not getting no sleep. Okay, so to start this off, I just want to kind of introduce our leadership and who we are. So me, I'm a Haitian, Chickasaw, and white mix. Mel over here, she's Native American, Colombian, and also white. We have Kiara, who is our fully black, strong, beautiful woman, right here to my left. We also have 2 more female leaders, and that is going to be Lucero, and she is the most kind and humble Mexican-American woman that I have ever met in my life. And we also have Kit, who is extremely intelligent. She runs our Intel network. She is so smart, and she is white, LGBTQIA+. All of our leadership represents some kind of minority group. That is who we are. We are all women, absolutely. Yeah, hell yeah. Our organization's mission is to enhance equity to all human life, regardless of sex, sexuality, gender, race, class, or undocumented status, by educating and unifying society to come together as one to put an end to systemic injustice. That is what we are fighting for. Because at the end of the day, we can't just have one fight. We need to have all of the fights now. I'm going to start with some statistics real quick. In April of 2018, a study by the Sentencing Project came out showing that African Americans and Latinx make up 29% of the US population. They also make up 57% of our prison populations. This is not okay. This is not okay. Of the 277,000 people imprisoned nationwide for drug offenses, 56% of those imprisoned are African American and Latinx. Of the 206,000 people serving life sentences, 46% of them are African American or Latinx. Again, we only make up 29% of the population, but we make up half of the population in our slave system. This is not okay. And no, I didn't misspeak when I said slave system. After hearing people speak, I feel like we're all on the same page. We know that the prison system is a slave system. It is modern day slavery. In 2020 America, slavery still exists. This is not okay. The 13th Amendment of the Constitution abolished slavery and indentured servitude except for as punishment of a crime. How is this allowed to happen? How is it allowed to be in our Constitution, in our human rights? It is our human right to be a slave as a punishment? Absolutely not. Yes, I paused, Although the amendment abolished chattel slavery in the USA, factors such as black codes, which are laws specifically written for black people, which is, again, not okay. All laws should represent all people, period.
That's right.
White supremacist violence and selective enforcement of statutes continue to subjugate Black and Latinx people in 2020 America to involuntary labor, particularly in our prison system. prisoners are forced to do physical labor for huge corporations for pennies per hour with no say in wanting to work or not. That is modern day slavery. Now imagine for a moment you're 27 years old and pregnant. You're already under a lot of pressure and stress due to the changes happening in your body and your life. You end up getting accidentally shot in an altercation. Now you never get to meet the baby that you love more than your own life or any material possession in existence. You are already heartbroken. Then the prosecutor decides to indict you for the manslaughter of your unborn child. That is the unfortunate reality for 27-year-old Marsha Jones of Montgomery, Alabama. This is not okay. This is not okay. It is completely unacceptable that in America, 2020, the judicial branch of our government is getting away with wrongfully convicting minorities with absurd charges and disproportionate sentencing. But you know what? We're done sitting in silence. Our minority societies in America are abused by the government that is supposed to serve its people. We need to fight against this corruption with our most powerful weapon, our voice. If you want to know about how you can help us fight the fight, go to our White Rose Society Facebook page. We post constantly the different events happening all over the Kansas City metro area, Johnson County, Douglas County. We post everything that we see in one place so that way it is easy access and anybody who wants to fight can fight this fight. My last comment, we cannot back down. We cannot stay silent. We cannot stop fighting. And we will not continue to let this corruption be our reality. Or worse, see our children and grandchildren have to take the streets and fight this fight the same way we are now. This injustice ends now. It ends with us. We will not stop until absolute justice is served. Not this fake justice that the system is giving out to people. We want absolute justice.
Absolute justice.
When Black lives are under attack,
Stand up, fight back!
when Black lives are under attack,
Stand up, fight back!
Thank you.
Okay, everyone. We're over time. Okay, I'll tell you a recap.
I don't want to say it's people, we are not minorities. We are the majority. Yes. All of us are the majority. Remember that. We have the power.
Okay. We've got to bring this to a close because we have to leave on schedule with these buses. We get charged overtime, so we're getting ready to wrap this up. But I want to thank everyone for coming out today. In closing, once again, when is Albert Wilson's court date? August 20.
It's a correction.
August 24th.
9 a.m. They made a change to the.
Okay, they're saying August 24th at 9 a.m. They seem to be changing it, so you guys might want to just check that and verify with the court.
And the reason why is because they pushed kids. There's a lot of things going on with.
Okay. So now we have the next court date is for Mr. Washington. When is Mr. Washington's court date? September 11th at 2 o'clock. We want you guys to come out and support. We have a protest coming up here later on in August. Keith Carnes' case is heading to the Missouri Supreme Court. And we're going to have a protest in Jackson County, Missouri. And we need as many people to come over there and come out and support us because that brother is innocent. Okay? Everyone, I thank you so much. What? Huh? Oh, okay. Yeah, everybody, please pick up any trash that you see. We want to make sure we leave in, good standings. I thank everyone for coming out today. You've been a blessing. You guys stay encouraged. Keep up the fight. Keep up the faith. And don't give in. No justice?
No peace!
No justice?
No peace!
All right. Y'all have a blessed day. And thank you for coming out. You guys are welcome.
Side JT, thank you for watching. I'm out.
Can I get somebody to help us get the equipment back to the bus? Some of you